everybody, Lance here, Peg Leg Garage. Wanted to give you guys an update on our SEMA build 2019 for our Ford Transit. Really cool stuff going on. As you can see, we have a lot of things that have come in. What we don't have is a van because our production date is October 4th, was the 3rd, SEMA crunch, already been rolled back a day. Thank every power that be that the UAW chose GM, sorry GM, instead of Ford, yay, to do their first strike, because that would have really gone from SEMA crunch to SEMA panic. So, but adapt, overcome, explore, pick your platitude, get it done. We're still getting all the stuff in, getting layout done. If you don't have the physical stuff, you can make CAD, cardboard aided design. Victron is coming on board, bringing all their cool solar and auxiliary power stuff, control panels, battery monitor system, battery monitor, smart solar, shore power charger, DC buck booster. So in order to figure out how all this is going to go in the vehicle, sometimes you do CAD, cardboard aided design, and you lay it out and you figure out, and you go rent a U-Haul Transit and you play on that and say, hey, we'll get it done. So other stuff that's coming in that's really cool, I'm going to do my best to be full disclosure on what is completely supported, like the Victron, and what I paid completely out of pocket for, like the 7P recovery ring. Can't wait to get our mile marker winch. They're supporting us. Mounted up so we can play with this. This is an awesome thing. These guys, Graham, Duncan, Nick, I've got training from 7P in the past before they were 7P, and they were cool dudes doing awesome trips and other training things, and they really are innovators. We're going to do a whole unique segment on comparing this to your normal winch shackle pulley that weighs a bazillion pounds versus the aluminum that can handle, that is not a misprint, 40,000 pounds through this, especially when you marry it with the soft shackle. So this becomes your pulley system when you're winching. This is crane stupid powerful. These soft shackles blow every piece of metal out of the water. Your winch line goes through. Again, paid full price because it was worth every penny. These guys are awesome. Other things paid full price for, and I always slaughter how we're supposed to pronounce this, Scopema. The Scopema seat swivels. This is class engineering here. I mean, no bucking in your seat side to side, anything. This thing is heavy duty. It's got to be 30 pounds at least. Built in France, I believe. I paid full retail from this. They're hard to get a hold of, but it was the best one I could find reviews of. I love the sound of solid engineering right there, because you know it's your seat and you don't want to rattle and bumping when you're off-road, getting all jacked all over the place, but you want to be able to swivel so that you're all set up in camp. Other cool stuff going on, because we're doing stuff with heat shield products, and I wanted to be able to do thermal imaging. So an awesome buddy of mine loaned this thermal camera from FLIR so that we could go through and look at where's the heat coming in. We want to treat this van more like a race car and less like a house. And so we're going to actually look at where's the heat coming in from the twin turbo EcoBoost, the exhaust system, where are the skid plates radiating the heat up, how can we keep the heat and sound out, and then we'll worry about the inside. So this is going to make for some fun videos. Another thing I paid full retail for eventually was this roller cam at Overland Expo West last year. Your standard cam buckles are a pain because they'll loosen and loosen and loosen. You can never quite get them tight. These guys put a roller in here instead of just that friction point, so that super quick and easy to tighten, ridiculously strong. I've been using these for about a year now all over the back of the Tacoma with our Treehouse camper on there. And everything I put on it, it just tightens up super quick and it holds, never loosened up. So I got a hold of them. They're going to actually support us. I paid full retail for everything I had up to this point, but they are going to support us by sewing some color-matched race red and black straps. But they're also going to do a couple of different configurations that I wanted to hold things like our ARB X jack up against the wall, because I love that thing. I've used that one 10 years now, finally just flat wore out. I'm going to order another one. I don't care if I have to pay full retail for it. It's worth every penny as the best big giant marshmallow to lift your vehicle. But I wanted a unique way to hold that against the van wall, so I don't care what if I have to pay for that. Extreme Outback gave me, I think, wholesale price. I need to check with George. I know he gave me a little bit of a discount. I flat out would have paid full retail. I've run Extreme Outback as my onboard air since like 2007. Had one set up on the roof of the FJ Cruiser that we did the Continental Divide in, and snow on top of it, it didn't care. I've had it mounted underneath my previous Sportsmobile. Mud, sand, snow, it didn't care. I had it under my Suburban for years. It didn't care. So had no choice, had to go with Extreme Outback. It was fantastic. Neat company. George there is awesome. Does things, you know, he'll sell you the no loss valve caps. This plastic one, I know it's plastic, but the plastic one is what you need for the new pressure sensitive valve stems, the tire monitoring systems, because the previous metal ones, you had that differential in metal. Martine, our in-house engineer, could explain all that, but two different metals would do weird things. So for your newer valve caps, plastic. What's great about these things is they actually have a little rubber O-ring seal in there. So you could take your whole valve core out and just run these. George actually will tell you when he's off-road, that's what he does. Deflates faster by pulling his valve core out, lets the air down, screws this on tight, does a whole trail. When he's done and he's ready to air up, airs up faster. Your Schrader valve core actually limits the speed that your air compressor can air you up. That's actually the choke point a lot of times if you have some mega cool onboard air system, but you're like, I still can't air up that fast. That's why. So I'm going to actually try that. I've always done just the traditional let the air out, put the cap back on, but I'm going to try running without a valve core, see how that does. But he will set up your customized system for everything. These are the new Endura compressors. It's quieter. It's got great CFM. One thing I like, I've run these, and again, mounted under a vehicle, mud, sand, snow, all that stuff. The air inlet on these is actually designed so that it can be fully submerged and it won't just suck air in. Well, I mean, if you turn it on, it'll suck air in. But it won't just fill up with water. Has a cleanable filter and a replaceable filter that goes in there. And then, so these, however, are not going under the van because I'm trying to keep a lot of stuff off the bottom of the van because I just can't lift it that much. It's a Transit with the quad van conversion. We just won't be able to go that high yet till we come up with cool other solutions. So these are going to go inside the Illuminous bumper, paying full retail for that, where a winch normally would go, because Illuminous does a great pocket inside with a door instead of just like a little hole to reach through. So these and the tank will go inside that what would normally be the winch compartment, and we're going to put the winch, the mile marker that, again, they're supporting us. Full disclosure, I'm trying to make sure I'm full disclosure on all this stuff. We're going to do that on a receiver mount so that we can put it in the front or in the back. Because honestly, don't you need to go back to a point of safety? I mean, really, when you got stuck, weren't you in a good place first, rather than going farther into the land of doom? So I want to be able to move our winch point around so that when we're chasing in Baja, at the Mexican 1000, when we're doing stuff, we can also just pull up, position the vehicle, winch, and not have to turn around and get lined up. It'll make things a lot easier on recovery. But we did two of them so that we get, because each one draws 30 amps, so versus 40, 50, 60 amps out of one particular compressor. So I can really go crazy. I can put them on switches and run one at a time. It does give me redundancy if one dies. I've never had Extreme Outback stuff die, but George is all about cool ideas. And plus, if you wanted to mount one in neat places and you only wanted to use one, it'd be great. We're going to go two. Make sure little things matter. The high temperature hose, these compressors, all compressors get really hot, even your cheapy ones. If you've ever felt the head of it afterwards, it gets hot airing up 4 tires. So they throw in their high temperature hose. They have an electronic blow off valve. This is a new thing for me, so I'm going to have to do some reading. Luckily, George does instructions that are about my intelligence level. So pretty pictures, red wire, black wire. He does write things, so that's kind of nice for someone smart enough to read. But then you have people like me that are like, I'll just do it like the picture shows. The shrink tubing, crimpers, breakers, solenoids, flow-through valves, really nice chucks that he specs. Some that will seal off, some that will flow through. If you're not doing a tank, you have to have a flow-through chuck. Otherwise, you're putting pressure on the compressor head. That's bad. Going to mount the tank inside there. That's going to be interesting. We'll see how it all fits. Method sent us the wheels, 50% off on these for giving them some social media love. So again, full disclosure, trying to keep you guys up on what I'm paying for so that you know I 100% love it. What they give a deal for, it's fairly their standard deal for SEMA builds and stuff, 50% off, versus what is completely supported. But I still love it, like the Victron. I'm running that in the Tacoma. It's never let me down. The Bluetooth lets you really look at data, lets you really look at what things. So I actually contacted them, fully willing to pay full retail. Northern Arizona, wind and solar. Jason up there has been fantastic, helping me set up the solar setup and everything on that. Again, solar panel I'm going to pay full retail for. So really want to keep you guys up so this isn't just a love fest because people send goodies. Something to be aware of when it comes from going from SEMA Crunch to SEMA Panic. The Transit has a really goofy bolt pattern, 5 on 160. Thanks, Ford. So there's only 3 or 4 companies that make aftermarket wheels. Luckily, Method is one of them. Not because they make pretty stuff. I honestly am all about function over form a lot of times, but they're pretty. But Method does this bead grip technology they talk about. It's these extra little lines that are in here that when you air down help kind of hold on to the tire bead so you don't roll off the bead. And considering on the Transit, going to be airing down because getting it stuck is going to suck. Going to try to keep it lighter than previous builds. We'll see how I do with that. I tend to El Gordo all my stuff. But I've watched guys race on these, even on these not actual race series. This is the 12 series or Trail Series 701. I've watched guys really air these down in the sand dunes and stuff, and they seem to hold a bead better. I have not actually seen one come off a bead, so I'm real curious to try that out. However, back to the SEMA Crunch versus SEMA Panic. Wrong bolt pattern came in. Eek! 5 on 100, much more common. I need 5 on 160, so that'll be a phone call to Method going, help! Let's get these 5 more wheels out here. Worst case scenario, I'll stop by, I'll drive over. You do what you have to. You don't make excuses for other people. You don't blame it on other people. You just get it done. So, that's our little update for today. I'm going to keep you guys posted on how this stuff. Look for the real panic to start October 3rd. Fly into Kansas City to the Claycomo plant there where the Transit's made. Gonna trying everything I can to get into the factory. I don't know. Even going, one leg angle here, whatever I got to do to maybe watch the van go down the assembly line. I'd love to meet any Ford disabled workers there and see how Ford interacts with people with a physical disability. I know that I get really well supported at the hospital I work at. So, want to see the van come out. Working with Jack Cooper Transport. They're the awesome folks that move it from the Ford factory there across town, literally across town, or across the country if it's by rail. But in this case, flying in Matt Ford. Matt there has been awesome to work with us so that, man, whenever that thing comes out of the factory, Jack Cooper Transport's going to move it over, and Matt Ford's going to have it prepped, and we are hitting the road. Amarillo, Phoenix, San Diego, LA, Fresno, Sacramento, Portland, Salt Lake City, Las Vegas. Everything we got to do in 30 days and 4,500 miles to get this thing to SEMA. So, watch for more.